Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Gonna be casting another game for you today. Today's matchup is between ESC Goody, the purple Terran player, and MTW's Dimaga, the red Zerg. So Zerg vs Terran here on Xel'Naga Caverns. Should be an exciting matchup. Definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, so that's about it. Xel'Naga Caverns, Zerg vs Terran. Nothing too exciting going on at the beginning of the game. Yesterday there were a few videos released. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them. There was a strategy video as well as 2 commentaries. So happy to keep producing that. I'm going to try to come with a strategy video later today. It may be published tomorrow, but I'm going to be working on it later today. And already something a little funny going on. We can see here Goody coming out with that supply depot at about 8 supply. Very unorthodox. He actually had to stop SCV production. That's the only way he could have afforded to get this early. He would have had to stop SCV production. And you can see here stopping SCV production again. So I'm going to guess a barracks is coming out. You can see right about finished right now. So that first depot finished. Barracks coming out. And this is very, very early. And this implies one of 2 things. We may be seeing an early Marine push, or he may be going for something like Reapers early on. And here we go, Refinery going down. So we may very well be seeing early game Reapers. You know, it's kind of funny. This is something you saw quite a bit of before that Reaper nerf, changing it so that you needed the factory for the Nitro packs, which you'd see people get those really early barracks. And they also changed it so you need that depot before the barracks, because you didn't initially need that. And you could just build your barracks early on, get that refinery early on, and then get your depot while that barracks was building. And that way you could get that nice early Reaper out and do a ton of damage with it. But they did change that, so it is interesting to see Goody actually hindering his own economy by stopping SCV production just to come out with this early barracks. And there we go, we can see that tech lab being dropped right now, so we are likely, very, very, very likely to be seeing a Reaper. I'm just going to go ahead and call it right now. It's pretty obvious at this point. Now we can see Dimaga playing pretty standard in that quick expansion, also following that up with a spawning pool. I guess this is becoming less and less standard though. We are seeing a lot more Zerg players open up with that pool extractor and then move into the expansion after that. But going to be going for that really early expansion. Dimaga coming out with that first, and they can go see that spawning pool coming thereafter. Now the SCV moving down, the idea of course is he's going to want to work on a bunker, but with this great overlord placement right now, we do have vision from Dimaga of that SCV, so it looks like he's pulling down a drone to follow that around to see exactly what that pesky little SCV is intending on doing. And 3 more SCVs coming down right now for Goody, so Goody definitely really wants to get down that bunker. You can see that's the whole purpose of him coming down with these additional SCVs, and Dimaga is going to be aware of that, fully seeing exactly what's going on. He knows that those SCVs are coming, and here comes that first Reaper, second Reaper on the way. Now this is really, it's not so much an all-in, but he has got to do some damage right here with this. If he doesn't, he's definitely hurt himself quite a bit economically. He doesn't have a lot of SCVs gathering right now, so trying to work on that bunker. We do have a spine crawler in the works right now. He definitely wants to attack that. I wouldn't have paid so much attention to the hatchery, but in fact the Reaper's coming down, so going to be using the Reaper just to take out the spine crawler, and no, canceling that spine crawler just in time, trying to drop another one. Microing away from those Zerglings, should have no problem. Wants to keep all those SCVs alive. One does drop, unfortunately. Should have pulled that away, and you just use the Reaper to deal with them. 3 SCVs still alive, and that Reaper inside of the bunker is going to be able to deal with those no problem until we get a lot more SCVs from Dimaga. He's going to have a hard time dealing with us. Trying to drop down that spine crawler again. One more shot and another one. There we go. So it does get rid of that spine crawler. Doesn't end up canceling on Dimaga. Unfortunately, didn't save the resources for that second Reaper on the way here right now. Going to start doing some damage. We also have another Reaper building at the moment. Lots of Zerglings coming forward, and as soon as Dimaga, you can see, still coming out with more Zerglings. He does have this queen out as well. As soon as Dimaga feels like he has enough Zerglings, he's going to be moving in for a surround, most certainly. Looks like he's pulling up some Zerglings over here, likely to try to catch any Reapers in transit. That's the goal there. SCV is going to be repairing each other and that bunker. And here we go, surround going down, moving up with a queen as well to try to deny those SCVs from repairing. Another Reaper moving down, but not before too much damage being taken. There's no more SCVs right now, and the Reaper's almost getting surrounded right there. Definitely want to get away, micro away as much as possible, but no, 1 Reaper dropping, so down to 2 Reapers right now, and the Reapers were forced to jump down the cliff there, and this is kind of an issue right now for Goody. Goody did not manage to take out this expansion. He has vested heavily in this. You can see again resources pretty low. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of gatherers right now. Moving forward, trying to do some more damage to these Zerglings. Again, wants to avoid that surround, wants to avoid as much damage as possible until they get that mana ball boost. Reapers are going to do a pretty good job of taking out those Zerglings. It shouldn't be too difficult for him. Zerglings moving forward. Mana ball boost does come out, so 1 Reaper does drop. Second Reaper drops as well. Fresh Reaper over here definitely want to get to someplace safe, because with that mana ball boost, the Zerglings are going to be able to catch up and surround him. And yeah, this is a bit problematic right now for Goody. We can see Dimaga has the expansion up, saturated. Taking a look at that unit counting station, 17 SCVs as compared to those 28 drones. And as far as income is concerned, that's a big difference. Taking a look at the income tab, big discrepancy between those two. Now we are going to be seeing Goody move out with his Hellion right now, and he's going to try to use this to do as much damage as possible. He should be able to keep away from those Zerglings. Almost got in surround right there, and again almost got in another surround, but doing a good job of microing away. And I think Dimaga didn't fully capitalize on the surround opportunities there. Not sure he's paying quite enough attention. And there we go, doing some damage to that Hellion. Hellion's going to want to try to pull away. Very close to dying, but no, the Marines and the Reaper on the edge there did save his life. Now over here for Dimaga, again, that saturation of that expansion pretty solid right now, coming out with his layer as well, so going to be moving up to that higher tech. Can see that creep tumor dropping down, so he's going to be pulling out that creep, trying to get as much vision as possible. He also, of course, has his Xel'Naga tower over here, so going to be fully aware of what's going on. Taking a look inside of Goody's base, his intentions, looks like he's going to be moving out with another push sometime soon. We can see this Banshee on the way out right now. We do have no cloak research, also moving down with these Hellions and Reaper to try to get rid of that tower. Those two units are going to be able to do a pretty good job of taking care of those Zerglings, so that's why the Zerglings were forced to pull away. We do have quite a bit more Zerglings right now, but at this point, Dimaga's feeling pretty safe. He's droning up pretty hard. You can see coming out with 5 more drones right now. I'm interested to see what his layered tech decision is, and there we go, Spire coming down, as well as an additional extractor. He's going to need that Vespian gas for those mutas, and a big push for Goody, at least big push in concerning the fact that this is a big investment for him. You can see inside of his base not a whole lot going on, so this is a really big investment right now for Goody. He's going to have to do quite a bit of damage with this in order to justify this push. Moving out with the Hellion to test the waters, he's going to see those 2 queens, so he knows he has to deal with at least 2 queens, gathering his forces at them. Even at that moment right now, dealing with 2 queens would be a little tough for him. He doesn't really have a whole bunch over here. I think a real big problem for him too is just he's so lacking on units that a lot of Zerglings are going to make his life a living hell. And look at that, we have 12 Zerglings on the way, a bunch of Zerglings just hatched as well, and on the board already we have 22 Zerglings. That is a lot of Zerglings that he's going to have to deal with. And just looking at his forces, I think it's plainly obvious here at this point that he won't be able to deal with that amount of Zerglings getting surround on his units, so he's going to have to be careful microing around. Definitely going to have to watch exactly what he does, and these queens are probably going to be engaging as well. As 3 right here, and here we go, push going down. Hellion's going to move down, try to roast any light units, trying to take care of those queens as quickly as possible at a full surround going down. And look at that, like I said, just the massive numbers of Zerglings mopping up the units that Goody has, trying to take down this queen, but no, a transfuse went down and that queen stays alive, and this Banshee's going to be forced to pull back to his base. And look at this, mutas are on the way right now. Mutas are being produced, and once those hit the board, I look at Goody's base. He cannot deal with mutas. He cannot even deal with these 6 mutas. A small number of mutas that normally early on in the game a Terran player would have no problem dealing with just a handful of Marines. It usually would be enough, but he won't even have that handful of Marines to deal with this, and he doesn't have an engineering bay up, so no turrets will be being placed. No Viking being built as of yet, so these mutas are going to cause a whole bunch of trouble right now. Zerglings running around the map, just doing a little fun dance over there, and here we go, first 4 mutas and 2 following it up the rear. So we do have 6 mutalists moving out right now for Dimaga, and this could be the end of the game right now for Goody. Again, he doesn't have much of anything to deal with it. There are these 3 Marines right here, and that is not even enough to deal with these 4 mutalists. And there we go, there is the good game from Goody. So Goody, that early Reaper push, really wanted to do a bunch of damage, and unfortunately didn't end up taking out this hatchery. The push was pushed back from Dimaga, so Dimaga obviously did a good job on that. And then we did have that counterattack from Goody. Now, I'm going to say that obviously didn't work in his favor the way he wanted to. The economy of Dimaga was just way too strong. He was able to pump out a bunch of Zerglings and deal with that push, no problem. I think the mentality of Goody was that he knew he was behind economically and that he had to do some damage, and knowing that his first push didn't really do much damage at all. Now, it did force that first initial Reaper push with the bunker, did force Zergling production as opposed to drone production, which Dimaga probably would have done otherwise if that push hadn't taken place. But even with that, he didn't lose the expansion, and he did get it saturated fairly quickly, so he was able to recover that forced Zergling production pretty quickly. And obviously Goody wasn't able to recover that SCV loss nearly as quickly, stopping that SCV production to get out that early barracks, and then also focusing on gas early on really hurts his production as well. So yeah, unfortunately game didn't go quite the way Goody would have wanted. Now, this is the first game in a 3-game series, so do stay tuned for game number 2. As always, guys, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and keep watching and keep owning. 20. You can see he's at 21 right now. So going to move forward with these 6 Zerglings, first taking out the SCV, then going to be moving down to this engineering bay, taking it out. So either way, I guess this is good on Goody because it's going to delay that expansion a little bit. It's not going to stop it, obviously, but it will set it back a little bit. So as soon as this is down, probably going to be seeing that expansion go down for Goody. Not probably, most certainly. And over inside of Goody's base, we do have that factory on the way. So Dimaga about to drop this expansion. Goody's coming up with the factory, working on his tech. Dimaga working on his economy, and probably going to be moving out with those Zerglings as well just to test.